You've saved the date, and this is what you've been waiting for, the ASB 2022 Presidential Elect Debate. My name is Alex Davis, the chairman of the Student Advisory Council, responsible for ASB elections. Today, I am honored to serve as your moderator for this exciting event. We are now 1 week away from casting our votes to select our new Associated Student Body Executive. The campaign trail has been heating up as we count down to March 17th, 2022. On February 21, 2022, we were introduced to the members of Team Voice and Team Blitz. Together, these teams, totaling 18 vying candidates, are running for the opportunity to represent you, the USC student body. Today, the presidential and vice presidential candidates of both teams come together to share why they are the right choice to amplify the Ushun voice. Let's welcome Mr. Vyani Tony, vying for the ASB president, and Miss Christina Lamesh and Miss Ryan Williams, both vying for the position of the ASB vice president. At this time, I would like to introduce the Vice President for Student Services and Enrollment Management, under which the ASB falls.
Pleasant good afternoon, everyone. It is such a delight to be here on this very notable occasion, looking at Mr. Vyani Tony, looking at Miss Christina Lamesh, looking at Miss Ryan Williams. They're all grown up and ready to represent 2,000 plus students on the main campus. I'm happy to be doing this today with Alex. I'm happy to be doing it because I thought that I should join the debates because I want to really hear who is Vyani Tony, who is Christina Lamesh, who is Ryan Williams. Let me make a bold statement, student body. Mr. Tony is going into these elections uncontested. It means that no one is contending with him for the position. I hope his shoulders are broad enough to take on the mantle of this, for it will not be an easy ride. Mr. Tony, 2,000 plus students, you are attempting to be their voice, their advocate. You're attempting to represent them. You're attempting to change USC for them. Mr. Tony, can you tell me who is Vyani Tony? Where is Vyani Tony from? Am I pronouncing your name correctly? What is he doing? What does he like doing? And why would he wish to interrupt his smooth sailing academic journey to speak for 2,000 students on the main campus of the University of the Southern Caribbean? Who is Vyani Tony and what does he do?
to boast or to brag, but to let you know that I come with a great deal of experience so that I can be equipped. I am well equipped to be your presidential candidate in this election. Many students have already given up on the idea, so I'm here to persuade you, ask you for your confidence in this election. I'm 21 years old. I may be young, but my team voice, we are adamant in making sure that this upcoming election, this upcoming ASB term is one that is filled with excitement, great leadership, representation, and of course, putting your voices first. I'm your presidential candidate, Bayani Tony, and I assure you, my team, we are going to represent all of your needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bayani. There's one thing you didn't say, if I was calling your name correctly.
Yes, Pastor, it's correct, Bayani Tony.
Great. Now, student body, I want you to pay attention to the service of Mr. Tony to not only USC, but to other organizations. And I would say as Vice President, I look forward to working with him to make things better for you. So, Mr. Tony is supported in his bid to become president, or while he's serving as president, by two young ladies who are competing to become his vice president. The two young ladies are the smiling Ryan Williams and the smiling Christina Lamesh. Christina, who is Christina Lamesh? When did she ever get to USC? And what makes Christina able to speak? What is it about you, Christina, that allows you to speak for 2,000 voices on the main campus of the University of the Southern Caribbean? Where have you come from? Talk to us.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Chairman. My name is Christina Lemech. A little bit about me. I am from Maracas, St. Joseph, and I'm a second-year student in the University of the Southern Caribbean pursuing my bachelor's in primary education. I started USC as a virtual student, and I believe that has given me some insight and some experience with the students who started, like myself, as virtual students. As a person, I am very charismatic. I'm easy to speak to, and you may find students coming to me for assistance in their various day-to-day school life as a virtual student. I believe these qualities will assist me with the student population as we move forward as a body. Also, I am a very proactive person. I tend to look at the bigger picture where I will see possible problems and implement solutions before those problems may occur. Hence, I would negate those problems from, as I said, occurring. Again, I'm an active listener. I also I'm a mature student, so I believe I can relate to the student population who are mature students as they enter this esteemed establishment. I am your candidate for Vice President with Team Blitz, and I ask you to please support and vote ASB, vote Christina Lemech. Thank you.
Team Blitz. Ryan, as you tell us, smiling Ryan, as you tell us now, Ryan, Christina said she's with Team Blitz. Which team are you with? That's what you have to tell us. Which team you representing? And you need to tell us about Rhiannon. Does she walk? Does she talk? Does she run? Does she sing? What about Rhiannon? And why you are willing to take up this burden at this age, at this stage in your life, to represent and be the voice of advocacy of these students here at USC?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Chairman and Vice President. My name is Rhiannon Williams, and I'm the Vice Presidential candidate for Team Voice. I hail from the country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm a third-year biology major with biomedical emphasis. I have had the opportunity of spending at least 1.5 semesters on campus before the pandemic and our transition to the virtual world. I think this has given me the ability to not only understand from our pre-pandemic students, but also our virtual students. During my time on campus, I was able to gain an understanding of student life with my participation in the His Love Choir, along with the Venada and Ladies Club. But you may wonder, who is Rhiannon really? Rhiannon Williams is a hard-working, diligent, and visionary individual. The person who will drop all else to aid a fellow man in a problem. I am someone that sees something needs to be done and takes affirmative action. I am a solution maker. I am a believer in impartiality. I have the ability to see from both the student's perspective and the administrative point of view. From my experience of attended Adventist institutions all my life, I have assisted both teachers because I was head prefect at my secondary school along with class presidents. And I have been assistant to spiritual leaders because I have spent my time in the Pathfinder clubs and also as head Sabbath school secretary at my home church. I am a student like you. I too struggled with Turnitin. I am a Christian. I know and emanate the qualities that are used to do this job. With these qualities and my team voice, I am certain that I will make a suitable vice president for the USC ASB.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Thank you, candidates. Just a bit of rules. There are 3 sections. Some of the questions will be directed solely to the presidential candidate, some to the vice presidential candidates, and others to everyone. So candidates will respond first on alternating questions. The first candidate will be allotted 2 minutes to answer the posited question. The second candidate will also be allotted 2 minutes to answer the posited question. And the third candidate will also be allotted 2 minutes to answer the posited question. Candidates will alternate positions on each question. The question will be read twice, and the timer will begin after the second reading. Candidates will be notified when 1 minute has elapsed and 2 minutes have been completed by the sound of a bell. So let's get right into it. This question is for everyone. So, Vianney, leadership has a lot to do with the 5 C's: character, consistency, communication, connection, and collaboration. Share with us how you would use these in your leadership of the associated student body. I will read again. Leadership has a lot to do with the 5 C's: character, consistency, communication, connection, and collaboration. Share with us how you would use these in your leadership of the associated student body.
Thank you very much, Chairman. So the 5 C's: those five labels represent me very well. My character is based on honesty, hardworkingness, and leadership skills. Anyone can let you know that whenever you hear the name Veyani Tony, the first thing they'll say is he's a great leader. Consistency. I am not one to lay about and watch things spoil away or watch things go away. I'm one to take the bull by the horn and address issues on the spot. Communication. I aim to be, this is one of the most major points in my team. Communication is where we want to address everyone and their concerns immediately. No more waiting on a response. No more dilly-dallying. My team voice aim to put the voice of every student first, and communication is key. Connection. Having a connection between admin and the student population. This will be done by having all of our national clubs, academic clubs, interest groups, all of these avenues where we have them being connected to the admin. No more having that break or that pause between students and admin. Collaboration. Collaborating with the admin, as I already said, the Vice President of Student Affairs. Having meetings with him to discuss what are our proposed goals or proposed ideas or proposed plans and or proposed initiatives, so that every student can see their questions being answered, can see their plans or their proposed ideas being fulfilled. As a student leader, from the past and now, from all the experience I've had, I know that it all comes down to having kindness, great initiative, strong leadership, and equal camaraderie. And that's my motto for my team and for myself going forward. And as your student leader, I assure you, we will try until a solution is met. My team is filled with capable individuals from St. Vincent, Grenada, Antigua, St. Lucia, Montserrat, Trinidad, Dominica, Barbados. My team is filled with so much talent and so much skills and representation that will create avenue for me to lead efficiently, because there is a representation from each aspect of the Caribbean. As your leader, I am not here to brag and to boast, but I'm here to spread knowledge through inspiration, listening, and reaching out to every student. So these 5 C's will lay out the foundation for me to efficiently and effectively lead you as your presidential candidate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. I want to have a little dialogue with Ryan. Ms. Williams, so you heard Mr. Tony expound on the members of his team. But I want to say something in the debate, that while Team Voice has its list of team members, each member still has to earn his or her right. So it's not if Vianney wins, the whole team wins, but each member has to earn the majority of votes in the category that he or she is contesting. So tell me, what does student advocacy look like for you in a post-pandemic USC? What would be the features of student advocacy for you in a post-pandemic USC?
All right, Mr. Vice President. At this point, the majority of students within the school USC has not experienced a pre-pandemic university. It is now up to us, the student executives and the administration, in redefining the normal and aiding in the transition of the student into this norm. I can assure you that Team Voice is the choice in assisting in this transition. We have members that have had pre-pandemic experience and have joined us in our virtual stay that provide ample representation of the voices and concerns of the students. We have persons that can speak from every angle of the university, me as well. I can imagine that together we can create an environment where the students will be free to interact with restrictions safely, as our student body executives will comply with COVID restrictions and also hope that our student body is safe. We hope to, as we enter into an integrated learning space where physical meeting occurs on both our main and satellite campuses, that our student body can be a voice for safety and health and ensure that the student body is well. The pandemic has not hindered any member of my team. Ideas to come up with innovative ways to look at new avenues for the student body.
Thank you. Christina, what does a post-pandemic, what does student advocacy look like for you in a post-pandemic environment? Post-pandemic environment.
Thank you. For me, student advocacy in a post-pandemic environment at USC, to me, looks as a brighter and better USC. As I stated previously, I started USC as a virtual student, so I will promote the enhancement of the various clubs, including our sports clubs. I will also advocate for the continuation of a hybrid climate. Reason being, not all of our students may be involved in sporting activities physically, but we also have online events that our students can be involved in. So for example, we can have virtual tournaments, gaming tournaments, activities and whatnot online. We can enhance and continue that collaboration we have with the extension campuses and develop that Ution bond between all our students from main campus and from the extension campuses. And also we would like to promote our mascot that many of our students don't know about, that nice hibiscus, the hummingbird, as we know are the hummers. We would like to include a lot of our sporting events to embrace that USC spirit, that school spirit that we, the students, would like to experience. Thanks.
So a post-pandemic USC, Ryan, you lived in the residence halls, right? A post-pandemic USC life in the residence halls, in terms of numbers of persons sharing rooms, what do you envision you want to see?
Well, normally it would, not much people would know, but it would be 2 persons per room and 4 persons per suite. I am unsure if this would be able to be continued, seeing that there may still be restrictions remaining from our pandemic situation. I would believe that the numbers of persons within a suite may have to be decreased to 2, and how that may affect the amount that will obviously decrease the amounts of capacity that the dorms is able to have. And so that is a situation in which we may have to start looking at different avenues of spaces to hold our students that stay on our resident halls, or we can remain with our current quota and instruct more safety measures within the dorms with the encouragement of masks and hand sanitization. I thank you.
No. Thanks. So you're thinking that if it remains in its current configuration, then lots of more stringent protocols would have to be in place. Or if we try to dormitory distance, socially distance ourselves. I mean, Christina, you kept saying that you want the Hummers and you want this about the sports teams, that about the sports teams. But you have nowhere for the students to play anything. Is that going to be a priority for you? There's no facility. Would that be a priority for you?
When you mention sports, are you speaking of the virtual aspect or the physical aspect of sports?
Physical.
Okay. Yes, that will actually be a priority. But as you mentioned, we do not at this time have a space to host sporting activities. So as part of our plans, we will look into creating a space where we can have these activities to create this atmosphere and experience for our students.
Thank you. So the entire student body is listening to the three of you. And you said, Mr. Tony, that you like to collaborate. And Ms. Lamech says that a sporting facility is going to be a priority for her. And I think Ms. Ryan would not disagree that a sporting facility is priority. We missed you just now, Ryan.
Oh, okay. Though a sporting facility would be something that would be very great for the university. It is currently not something that I could be seeing accomplished under a year time, though it would be great at a great thought to have, a great something to have, though it is something that we could look into. What I do think that we can see for the time being in order to have an immediate startup of our sporting clubs is that we look at the use of different facilities within the country that is available for us to per se rent for the time being for practices and so forth. That is what I think it would be the most efficient and best avenue to take from the start get-go.
Fine. So all of you support the return of team sports to our campus. And you said that the facility is not one that may be achieved in a year. But are you committed to these 2,000 students to begin the process?
I am more than committed to these students to begin the process and to look at the process. And even if I am more than committed to see if I could accomplish the process even quicker than I previously stated, it's just I was underestimating my abilities at the moment, so not to give lofty promises, so that it would be an even bigger surprise for students when we will be able to get the facilities in under a year's time.
I love that. And I want to stay on the facilities. So these 2,000 students have heard your commitment today, Mr. Tony, Ms. Lamesh, and Ms. Williams. I've heard your commitment too. And I'm anxious to work with you to make this a reality. Next question. Let me ask you a very straight question, Mr. Tony. As a little boy, I never liked to lose. And I never, ever, ever liked to lose. Losing was never an option for me. You know there are team members on Team Blitz. If one of your members does not get the majority of votes, if one of your members do not get the majority of votes, and a member from Team Blitz gets the vote, are you prepared to work with the person who gets the highest votes?
Thank you, Vice President. Yes, I am fully prepared to work
Any
with
position, not just
students.
Vice President.
Vice President, student workers, channel editor, any office that we don't acquire during our election, I am more than prepared to work with these students. Not to brag and not to boast, I humbly say this, but we did accept persons transferring. So I am more than willing enough to accept even more persons to join our team. Because I'm not really focusing on where you're coming from, but what you can do to better the life of students on campus. So that's my goal going forward. Now, because you're on the opposing team, we are one voice, we are one rep, we are one ASB, no matter where you're coming from. So.
Okay. So, I want to ask you my final question, and then I'll have Brother Alex take over. Do you know what the term DUI means?
DUI?
Yes, sir.
From my criminology knowledge, it's driving under the influence. From my criminology knowledge.
Yes, and you're correct, driving under the influence. Right? There's a new term, well, it's not so new, but there's a term that is emerging called DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. The University of the Southern Caribbean is a diverse campus. So right here this afternoon, Ryan is from St. Vincent, born to a Vincentian father and Guyanese mother. Am I correct, Ryan? Great. Christine is from Trinidad. You are from St. Vincent, Vianney, living where?
Yes, sir.
Antigua.
Antigua, yes.
Living in Antigua. Alex is from some other part of St. Vincent, living in Trinidad. You have members, you said, from Grenada, from wherever. USC is a very diverse campus. Very, 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 very diverse campus. Christina, what's your vision for total involvement of all the diverse groups on campus in an inclusive manner?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, so USC is this diverse campus with people from all over the Caribbean and all over the world. And you have a student body with people from over 42 differing countries, right? So not everybody will like doubles for lunch, right? When I was a student here at USC, whenever I showed up in the cafeteria and I saw rice, it was my day of heaven. But my friends from Dominica, when they saw rice, they felt they were sentenced to not eat their preferred ground provision. Culture, music, worship styles. USC is just a diverse place. How do you propose to lead this diverse group, ensuring as far as possible that the various subgroups are captured and serviced?
Okay, yes. It's a bit intriguing that you mentioned food, because that was actually on the top of my list, where I would suggest or promote the inclusion of various types of meals to include the various persons who will be on campus. As you mentioned, not everyone will favor a particular type. And that is actually one of the plans I had here written to assist with inclusion culturally. I know USC does quite a lot because we are a diverse university, and we will promote and continue promoting all the events that we have for those students to enhance that inclusivity that they will feel on campus itself, in addition to the enhancement of the meals that are prepared at the cafeteria for our students to include them in that experience.
Great. So you are going to ensure that the meals represent that diversity. Ryan, what would you do?
All right, Mr. Vice President and Chairman. There's no denying that USC boasts a thriving cultural department. It is my desire that we keep this momentum that has been gained as we may move into a very transitionary period. I hope to re-implement previous activities such as International Students Week under safe conditions for our students with the use of maybe virtual avenues to make it more inclusive of everyone that may not be able to be there. I also want to utilize our online era to bring fresh takes on movie nights and karaoke, to bring a place where students from different backgrounds, different areas could meet and socialize with not only people from there similar to them, but other people that are different from them. My time in office and Team Voices time in office will ensure the inclusion of our local and international students in all activities. Our team members are from a host of different countries, and it is through them that we intend to involve the representation of the cultural part that is USC, creating an experience that is memorable for all. Thank you.
My final question, and then I will turn you over now to Alex. So you have these 2,000 students that you'll represent on our main campus. You have to work with your colleague student leaders from the extension campuses. And you have to work with the administration. If there is one word that you will describe, one animal rather, that you will describe the administration as, what is that animal? Who will go first?
I'll take the chance. I would say a parrot.
A parrot? No, don't explain. Don't explain.
No
A parrot.
Okay.
Vianney, what would you describe the administration? One animal. It can't be the parrot.
I would say a bear.
A bear? Christina?
I would liken the administration to an eagle.
An eagle. Great. So after your 1 year of service is finished, what do you want your parrot to turn into?
I think we should appreciate the parrot for its ability to speak and communicate for us. So I hope in my 1 year that the parrot can learn new words and speak a bit more to the student body.
So it stays as a parrot, but the parrot just grows and speaks more.
It matures.
Not bad. No, your answer is good. Vianney, what must your bear turn into?
My bear would remain a bear, Pastor. Why? because a bear protects, and a bear is all about protecting their own. And I know that our university is called the Caring University. So I know that the bear, or going forward in the future, I want this bear to just develop a more sense of security, a more sense of a wider branch of inclusion, including everything that grows around them and so forth. So my bear would remain a bear because we are Caring University.
Christina, your eagle.
Now, while the eagle is powerful and a great leader, after my 1 year, I would like to see it evolve into what we know as the phoenix, meaning rising above all adversity and empowering. So I want at the end of that 1 year that administration is one that is empowering and one that rises above all adversity.
Great. And if you were to ask me one question, what would that be? Ryan, Christina, or Vianney? Anyone could begin. Then I'll tell you what animal I see the ASB as. So you can't ask me that question. Anyone could begin. Ask me one question. But that's good. Phoenix, bear, parrot.
Well, as the father bear for the university, how do you plan to be more being more inclusive of every other parrot and the eagle within campus?
One of the things that I have to do is that I'll depend a lot on the ASB executive. I'll depend a lot on our student clubs. I'll want to visit with you, and we will soon launch what is called the complaints resolution plan, so that I can hear, but I can't meet 2,000 students and talk with them, but I can meet you, their representatives. And I'm going to put a bear, a parrot, an eagle, and the phoenix on every single decision-making committee of the university, right up to the board of trustees, so we can all hear what you're saying, embrace you, and grow and develop this institution into a world-class facility. Question for me, Christina?
Okay, my question to you is, how do you plan, and this is coming from a student point of view of a virtual student, how do you plan to empower the student population who started virtually and may have to move into a face-to-face or hybrid setting?
I intend to bring them in gradually, not abruptly, but phase them in gradually. I understand that many of them who started virtually may actually have jobs, so it would be difficult to just cut your job and rush into USC. I intend to have reorientation for the very new ones, because this is now a whole new normal, a whole new setting. I intend to set up a very robust student mentoring system, for which again, I'll depend on the ASB for help with, as we bring them back and ease them into campus, because online learning and face-to-face learning are two different spheres, and adjustment issues would occur. Ryan, you get a chance to ask me the final question.
My question is rather very simple. Are there plans in terms of developing or introducing new communication routes with our students?
Yes, let me tell you, just last week actually, we spent time as an administration, and all of you, all three of you, will benefit from a 2-hour session with me, where all three of you, where I will sit with you and share with you what the administration did for 2 days last week. It became very clear to us, Ryan, that while we have a lot of information, we have been doing 3 out of 10 as a grade in terms of communicating that information. So we have to communicate more relevantly. We have to communicate and more ease so that the receiver of the communication is able to utilize the information easier. We have to communicate more sensibly. And I end there. And so I see the ASB as a wounded tiger. In 1 year, it must be a tiger in the prime of health, leaping through the jungles of the Amazon. The healing of the tiger is in your hands. Heal the tiger.
Thank you, Pastor Lafleur. Now we'll get back to our line of questioning. Let me reiterate that each candidate has 2 minutes. After 1 minute, you'll be notified by the sound of a bell. And after 2 minutes, you will also be notified by the sound of that same bell. This question goes to Rayan. What is the Youshun dream from your perspective, and how can you contribute to this? I will read again. What is the Youshun dream from your perspective, and how can you contribute to this?
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Youshun dream to me is to obtain a degree that would provide the stepping stone to achieve my dream career. However, that is not the sole purpose of my tenure here. Like many at this great institution, it is my dream that the 4 years that I would have spent here would be one where I would form great bonds with different people of different backgrounds and dreams which would last a lifetime. My Youshun dream also extends to me growing my already strong Christian faith as an institution that has great moral and Christian values, where I would leave with a better bond with Christ than when it was when I began. I want to develop this dream for others and make it come true for them, a fairy godmother if you wish. I want to implement more social and cultural activities where students are able to meet their fellow students and to develop bonds and make experiences that last a life. I also have planned in developing our spiritual sessions and chapels. Our wonderful teammate Lila Louis also have plans in involving the spiritual aspect more into student life, so that we live with characteristics and lessons that could carry us through life. That is the Youshun dream, and that is how I plan to develop it. I thank you.
Thank you, Rayan. The same question now goes to Christina. What is the Youshun dream from your perspective, and how can you contribute to this? What is the Youshun dream from your perspective, and how can you contribute to this?
Thank you. So the Youshun dream, from my perspective, it's one where, yes, I attend this esteemed establishment and I graduate with my degree, but I also leave with family and friends, meaning I create that bond. I have a network. I have a family network with my classmates and students from the other schools and departments on campus or virtual. I would like to experience that feeling of belonging, and I would like the entire student body to experience that same thing where they feel like, yes, I belong here. This is the university I should attend, and I'm attending it. And this is the university I will always promote, because we have that extensive network and that extensive experience of family from attending here. As I indicated before, I started USC as a virtual student. So my communication with most of my classmates through the School of Education and Humanities and other departments are mostly virtual. However, that didn't limit me from creating networks and friendships and bonds with my fellow classmates, my usual classmates. And I would like to extend that to the entire population. I would like them to experience that feeling of belonging and experience that network that they can have from this usual experience.
What exactly motivated you to become an advocate for 2,000 students on the main campus of USC? What exactly motivated you to become an advocate for 2,000 students on the main campus of USC?
Mr. Chairman, is that question directed?
What question? Who is that directed to, Mr. Chairman?
You, Mr. Tony, would you like me to go over
Thank
it?
you, sir. Yes, sir.
What motivated you to become an advocate for 2,000 students on main campus of USC? And I will read again. What motivated you to become an advocate for 2,000 students on main campus of USC?
Thank you very much. So in January 2020, I started USC. I landed in Trinidad on the 6th of January, and I was amazed by the ins and outs of campus life. The ASB then had an event for new students, and I was very much interested in joining the ASB. I worked as a call center operator front desk reception at USC, and I also had direct link and direct knowledge and experience on dorm, being a dorm mate for 2.5 months. So from this experience, I realized that there are certain things that students would not be, there are certain things that students may not say or be a part of during their tenure at USC. So on January 2022, my vice presidential candidate on Team Voice told me about ASB again, reminding me to join ASB. I said I would join it because at that point I experienced 2 years online, 2 years of similar issues with fellow students. So as I agreed to that decision to join ASB, I realized that I need to have the following criteria locked down: inspiration, listening, and reaching out among others. My friendship circles, my student circles are filled students, give airing their views 24/7. They are always saying what they think can be better in this area, how they can improve this and how they can improve that aspect. So I decided to officially join ASB in February of this year. Why? Because I know that from my knowledge of being around my friends, from all of my friendship groups, such as my pandemic groups and so forth, they have been giving me further insights as a student on their end and as a student on my end on how I can manage and run ASB successfully. So my friends and my knowledge from other avenues propelled me to join ASB during this year.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. Ms. Lamesh, this question is for you. The Vice President for the Associated Student Body does what exactly, and what motivated your interest in running for this position? Again, the Vice President for the Associated Student Body does what exactly, and what motivated your interest in running for this position?
Thank you, Chairman. So to answer your question, most importantly, the Vice President aids and enhances the leadership of the President of ASB. The Vice President also is in charge of liaising with the students of the senior class to create the yearbook for those students. What motivated me to run for this position? As indicated previously, I am a mature student and I'm also a student worker at USC. I believe these two things would help me with advancing the, I believe these two things will motivate me more into enhancing the experience of the USC student population. I am an active listener. I'm very proactive. And as I entered USC, I saw various instances where the student population, there were needs to the student population. For example, as I entered the university, I noted that my fellow students, we did not have a way to meet each other, seeing that we were virtual. To negate that, I created a WhatsApp group for my year in my program. And to this day, I can testify that a lot of us, even though we haven't met physically, we have created a network right there of persons who we only meet over Zoom, but we created various groups. We have study sessions. We have just groups where we come together and motivate each other. And in seeing this, I realized that I can further motivate the entire student population, not just for academics, but in mental health and for support of our student population.
Thank you, Ms. Lamesh. Now, I remember Pastor asked Ryan this question. However, this question will go to Vianney. Sorry, the associated student body is described as the voice for all USC students. How exactly do you plan on collaborating with the administration of the university? I will read again. The associated student body is described as the voice for all USC students. How exactly do you plan to collaborate with the administration of the university?
Thank you, Chairman. First, by ensuring that our students are aware of who we are, what are our roles, and how we can represent them. And then we can involve the admin of USC. We can't really collab with the admin unless students are aware of what the ASB does. We plan to involve the administration in final decision making and having them be more in tune with our student population. With the plans we have in store, a sit-down session with the admin is key so that we can lay out all of our plans and ideas and have open discussion on the successful achievement of these ideas. So by having the student body knowing who the ASB and what we do and what we are capable of, then we can hear their voices, hear their ideas, and hear their grievances and plans and issues, and then carry this note to the admin and have a discussion with the admin and find possible solutions to these issues.
Thank you. Mr. Lamesh, your question again. What are some of the attributes of your supporting team members that make you confident that they are effectively and efficiently capable of representing the student body? What are some of the attributes of your supporting team members that make you confident that they are effectively and efficiently capable of representing the student body?
Thank you for that question. So, attributes of my supporting team. In my team, we have the director of sporting events, who's an avid sportswoman, and who best can relate to the sporting community than someone who experiences the ins and outs of sports themselves. I believe that attribute makes an excellent candidate for that position. For director of spiritual awareness, we have a very enthusiastic and charismatic individual who can reach out to the entire student population, including them in the various events and plans we will have for social and spiritual development. And finally, our parliamentarian, he is a very he is very aware of policies and policy making, and he's very detail oriented. And what better quality or attribute to have in a person who will be your parliamentarian? And I believe those attributes are the best that we need for my supporting team. Thanks.
Thank you. At this time, we will have closing remarks. Vianney, do you have anything else you would like to tell the USC students?
As we go to vote on March 17th, I urge all students to look at what we've just discussed and to put your X a team voice. My 15 candidates for each office within ASB, we plan to observe and address all of your issues, concerns, and needs. We have great plans with ideas in store for you, and I'm happy and I'm putting all of my faith and trust in my team. My vice presidential candidate is also capable of doing all that she can on my team, right? I am putting all of my faith, and I know that students who are aware of what we are capable of and what we have in store from our manifesto to write down, that they know that we are a solid team. We are ready to serve you. We are here to work for you, and we are here for you. Team voice is the way. One team, one plan, one voice. Vote team voice.
Ms. Williams, do you have anything you would like to tell us?
Of course, Mr. Chairman. It was a pleasure to be here today and to put forth our ideas to you. With experience of both offline and online schooling, adaptability is a characteristic that I will use to my advantage as we arrive at a new era. My desire when I am in office is to provide an ample support to the president in the smooth transition and ensuring that no student's voice is lost along the way. As a vice presidential candidate of Team Voice, I can assure you of not only my willingness, but my team as well to be of service to you, the student body. My team, we have a diverse team of students from a collection of islands with different cultural backgrounds and experiences, providing proper representation of the student body. This team, your team, is a cohesive unit, one that works great individually, and together we work beyond excellence. Each member has experience in leadership and radiate characteristics that make us suitable for the positions that we are vying for. Let me be your voice. Let us be your voice. Come March 17. Thank you.
Ms. Williams. Finally, and certainly not least, Ms. Lamesh.
Thank you, Chairman. So as we leave today, I call on all my USC students, all my classmates, friends, colleagues. On March 17th, we go out, we vote ASB. As I ask you to look at our manifesto, see what we have planned for you, and elect us to serve you, the student population of the University of the Southern Caribbean. Vote Christina Lemech for Vice President, vote Team Blitz, vote ASB. Thank you.
Here, thank you to all candidates for participating in our presidential debate, or some would say talk. Thank you, Vianney. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Thank you, Lamesh. And best of wishes to you. Let us remind each and every one of our students here on campus that elections will be held next Thursday, the 17th of March, from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Results will be announced Friday, 18th March, 2022. Once again, thank you for listening. Goodbye.